Welcome to Dallas Cowboys Take. Got a good one for you today. Myself, Ryu, Lucha Libre Joey. Sean missed a week. Sean's back this weck. Ready to go. We got to talk about the game against the Patriots. But first, as always, shout out our sponsors, which is absolutely nobody. But I always like to let people know OC Hard Hitters over on Spoons. I told them I'd give them a shout out. Every show we do. So Spoons, go see OC Hard Hitters off of Dyer in the city of Santa Ana, and also Chapman Brewery off of downtown Orange. Go see them. Some good food, some good beers. If you see Randy, tell him we sent you. Tell him Dallas Cowboys Take sent you. He's actually the owner of the joint. Let him know that we sent you. All right, here we go. So crazy game, crazy wild game on Sunday. I was watching it at a bar. A lot of Cowboy fans there, a couple of Patriot fans, but it was fun to be in the building with some other Cowboy fans and whatnot. I was with my wife and my parents. Joey was at home. I know that. Sean you guys got the ticket. You were both at home. But before we just get into anything specific, Sean, overall thoughts just about the game in general. What comes to your mind?
Yeah, it's a fun game to watch, man. It's really cool. Me being more defensive minded, I really like seeing Belichick's defense and how he checked different things, ran some schemes, and it was a really fun game. I mean, people that say that Dak isn't up for MVP are stupid. They're just dumb because it's all improvisation. When he improvs, that's the only way people were open. It's because he bought time and he improved on almost every single play. Those guys were not supposed to be open. Dak gave them time, scrambled to the left, scrambled to the right, gave them time to get open, and he hit these guys. It was just a marvelous game by Dak, and he's MVP candidate for sure. And it was just a fun game to watch, both defensively, offensively. There was some things that we'll get into a little later defensively that it irks me. But overall, I liked it. Fun game to watch.
What say you, Oy? What's your overall thoughts?
My overall thought was, I agree with Sean too. Is it was one of the best games I've ever seen, man. But thing is, one thing about what I loved about this Cowboys team that you could even see it is that there were stretches there where sometimes you saw the old Cowboy team and you were like, oh fuck, are they going to do this in Foxborough again like the past Cowboy teams? But then there were some stretches in the game where then they made you think like they were the number one of the best teams in the NFL, and that was so exciting about it because they just had this no quit attitude, man. They just kept pushing, and even when they bended, it broke. They kept fighting back, and then we ended up on top, man. And normally, this, Ryan, most of the teams in the past, we would have faltered in Foxborough, and but not this team for some reason. And that.
Yeah, my overall thoughts was I know we beat the Chargers. The Chargers are a tough team. Yeah. My overall thoughts was this is the best game that we played all year because we had to deal with adversity and penalties and the refs, and we're going to get into that a little later. And like Sean said, Dak, a lot of these receivers, they weren't getting open. They weren't. The good thing is Dak had time to throw, and then he would improvise. He would move out of the pocket or whatnot, but he would direct people open. He would throw people open. And that's what Dak did. So my overall thoughts is the best game we played so far. And as when we did the show last week, I said it was going to be a dogfight, and it was.
And you're right.
Yeah, a lot of people thought it was going to be double digits. There was no business of any of us saying it's going to be double digits. I just knew it wasn't because Belichick he's going to take away your best thing. What did he take away? He took away our run. Even though we did still rush for 122 yards altogether.
We did.
But that's what he does. So overall thoughts, that's saying we pretty much on the same page. But I want to get into Sean's specialty. Now, I usually start with offense. We're going to start on defense. I'll go ahead and speak what you want. Talk about what you want on defense, Sean. I was pretty upset about the run defense. But you go ahead and talk about that.
No, you're right. I mean, that's what I was gonna feed into as a hard defense as far as run defense goes, and you're gonna see more Keanu Neal in Van Der Esch. His last 3 or 4 games, you're gonna see he has bad tape, really bad tape. I mean, his cutback, I talked about it before, is awful. Who's Damian Harris has 101 yards on us. That's before that in the last 4 games he had 130 yards, and on us he has 101 in one game. It's just uncalled for. We can't have that. He had 5.6 yards per carry, which is way too much. So I mean, Van Der Esch is always on his back. He's on skates. You guys got to look at almost rewinding it and playing the game forward, rewinding it during commercials, and he just doesn't look good at all. Keanu Neal came in for a lot of reps for him. It wasn't because he was tired or they were giving him time. It was because he wasn't playing good, and he's got to step it up, basically. Other than that, the secondary did okay, but when they run when they run cover 4, and they run the quarters, they got to stay in their quarters because Antonio Brown gets burnt a little bit because he likes to take the inside and they cut him out the outside and there's nobody there because he's supposed to take that quarter. And then also when Trayvon Diggs, when they said he got burnt, that wasn't his fault. The safety on the top end should have came back, and he saw him look back like, where's my help? Because he actually went into that quarter of the field, which was a safety quarter on cover 4, and should have came up. Tony Romo, he said he was man-to-man. It wasn't man-to-man. I don't know where he's coming up from. It was cover 4. It was quarters, and Diggs was waiting for secondary safety to come up. Safety came up late, and they got that big score. But, I mean, other than that, our run defense, I don't know why anyone abandons the run on us. I don't know why. If I was offensive coordinator, I would stick to the run and stick to the run and stick to the run. But, yeah, that's the pet peeve on defense. Van Der Esch has got to really step it up. We might have let the wrong linebacker go.
Yeah. Sean, I don't know if you noticed, but did you notice that in the game that they weren't really using Parsons a lot on the outside? Like, he wasn't really rushing a lot. I mean, it seemed like to me they were using him more in the middle a lot. So what's up with that, man? Because it just seemed like he didn't get a lot of pass rushing opportunities.
Well, he has a lot of responsibility now as being in the linebacker position that he's in right now. So he's got to protect the run. Same thing as the pass, the flats. Sometimes they try to disguise defenses with him. He's the man that they try to disguise as the Mike a lot. So he has a lot of responsibility that takes him out. That's why in the previous shows I said I like him on the line because all he has to do is create havoc. Now we lose him a little bit as linebacker because now he has so much to do that he gets lost. But he gets lost in our eyes because we don't see him on tackles and we don't see him all this stuff. But he's creating havoc on his own way because he's covering his zone. He's doing these little things that we don't see as far as being the person who's on the tackles, the person who's really, on the plays, but he's that missing guy that you don't see because he's actually doing what he's supposed to be doing.
Yeah.
Yeah, what I noticed is like the Patriots, and I agree with you, Sean. I would have just kept running the ball until you stopped it, let's fast forward to overtime when it was 3rd and 3, and they decided to throw the ball. I would have just ran it. I don't understand why Josh McDaniels decided to throw the ball, because when they started the game and throughout the game, but they started the game in 13 personnel. 13 personnel is a 1 back and 3 tight ends, and they just rammed it, and that's how they scored the first touchdown. They ran the ball really well, and they gave other teams the blueprint how to beat this defense. They're gonna go in 12, 13 personnel and ram it down our throats, and I was very discouraged about that. 101 yards by Harris it was not good at all. I was upset about that, and like I said, they should have kept running the ball. I don't understand why they went away from it, but that's what OCs do sometimes. They, like Kellen Moore does sometimes, tries to get cute, and there's no need for that. And then Sean, you're right. Kazee on the one that they just scored on, our safety Kazee, he over pursued. It was a big time over pursuit. I don't know how he pretty much passed the ball. Like, it was just crazy. And Diggs, that wasn't Diggs' responsibility, but Diggs tried to cut it off because he thought the pass was coming earlier. If he doesn't cut it off, he probably gets another pick. It's crazy how good that guy is. But going back to Parsons, it's because you have to know that they're not going to put him in the line now. That's why they got rid of Smith, because they said Parsons is our backer now. So
I know that. I just thought they could have given him a little bit more opportunities. That's all. Just a little bit more. That's all.
Well, you're going to see less and less as DeMarcus Lawrence gets back as well. He's going to be a backer, and that's what he's going to be, and that's what we have to deal with it. He'll get better. He'll get better. It's his first year back. Last year he didn't play at Penn State. He took the year off because of COVID. So he's going to get a lot better.
Maybe Dan Quinn will start blitzing him more up the middle or whatever on the outside a lot more once Lawrence gets back.
Yeah, they got to put some more packages in for him.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah,
you need definitely some more packages in there.
Yeah. So our defense came through again with the takeaway, Diggs, pick 6.
Crazy, man.
It's crazy because actually I'll probably get into that a little later, but yeah, I'll get into that later. So the other thing I didn't like is that New England scored. It got taken away from a penalty. I mean, so if that penalty doesn't happen, we're down 21-7. So, our defense didn't play that as well as I thought we would, especially against a rookie QB. But I told you guys, I've been saying Mac Jones is a good QB. He's only going to get better. And with the right coaching, he's going to be the best out of the rookie class that came out this year. And he showed you what he can do.
Yeah, he impressed me.
He's good,
lot,
dude.
Man.
He's a good QB. Good QB1. So look out for him. So that was the defense, but I want to get into our offensive set. Sean mentioned earlier, improv, Dak, and I was talking to Joey about this earlier. Dak, he signed that contract, and we thought that's a little too expensive. But man, he's earning it now, isn't he? Because that contract first of all, I don't think anybody should be getting paid that much. But if they are, okay, Dak has earned that money because in 2 years from now or next year when Lamar Jackson's contract is going to be renewed and
they're going to get close to $200 million.
Josh Allen and Herbert, their contracts are going to be sky high. And Dak is playing at MVP caliber right now, like Sean said. If anybody doesn't think he's in MVP conversation, they're idiots or they're just cowboy hitters. So Dak is earning his money on the offensive side of the ball. And who else is earning their money right now? They're not even getting paid that much. But CeeDee Lamb, we talked about it in previous episodes, previous shows that CeeDee needs to get more involved, and they got him involved, and he
got him big time.
He balled out. So Joe, what do you think? What do you think of? I got the game on our hair, but what do you think of CeeDee, man?
Dude, I love it, man. I was telling you last week we had to get him the ball more, man. It just seems like he's getting more comfortable with Dak, with the spots of the field where he needs to be at, and like, dude, it's great to watch him and Dak get that, that familiar with each other, man, because it's showing right now, man. They're going to be dynamic for years to come, man. And dude, I love how they're getting him involved, man. It doesn't matter if you put a double team. I mean, they're doubling him too sometimes, right? And he gets around it. So, dude, I'm loving it. It's exciting to watch them, man.
So you like what they're doing, or Sean? It looks like they're making CeeDee the number 1 receiver versus Amari Cooper. What are your thoughts on that?
Yeah, you almost knew the transition was going to take place, right? I mean, now you got Gallup even coming back. So, I mean, those CeeDee Lamb is just a monster. He runs great. He's just super fast. Amari Cooper is still going to be, that whole 1A, 1B type of thing. They're still going to be right there. I mean, his route running is way better than CeeDee Lamb's, but CeeDee Lamb just make things happen. Yeah. And good players just make things happen. And he's just making things happen. And it's great to see. And I also like to see him get more involved because he hypes up the team. You get him more involved, and the team feeds off his energy.
Oh, I agree, because you watch a big catch by him versus a big catch by Amari Cooper. It's just work for Amari Cooper. He gets up, goes back to the hubbles. CeeDee Lamb kind of does that little first down that he does, and he gets excited. You know what I mean? So it's transitioning now. I don't know if CeeDee Lamb is wide receiver 1 yet, but it's getting to that point.
Getting close. He's getting to that point.
So my next question is, like Sean just led into it. Gallup's going to come back. My question to you, Sean, is Cedric or Michael Gallup? Who are you going to play when he gets back?
That's a really, really good question, and I love even talking about that. You know what I mean? I mean, usually, in the beginning of the season, we would say hands down, Michael Gallup. What the heck are you talking about? Cedric, he's balling, man. He looks really good. We wouldn't have won the game without that catch. That was an awesome catch to get that first down.
Yeah.
And so Gallup is he might come a little rusty, so we might be trading in some reps there. But all in all, I think Gallup's going to win that position for sure.
What about you?
Hey, but Ryan, he's making it, at least Wilson's making it interesting as far as like now it won't be as bad. Like now that we've seen like 5 games almost without Gallup, and look at how dynamic our offense is, even with Wilson, without Gallup. I mean, so in a way, maybe it won't be a tough way to like let him go. I mean, even though I want Gallup there, but if we had to let him go, I'm confident in Wilson to be
Well,
that third guy. I
I'm
mean, I
you're talking about the end of the season. I'm talking about right now. Who gets more playing time
no,
when Gallup gets back?
I'm with Gallup. Gallup,
Yeah,
he's a tad more better.
I seem to think when out of sight, out of mind, Gallup's not there. Cedric Wilson's there. So then we're like, oh, Cedric did, but I still think Gallup is better than Cedric Wilson.
Yeah.
And then we could talk about the future. We'll talk about that later because Gallup's going to want more money versus Cedric Wilson. So that's going to come up. So we'll see what's going to happen there. And wanted to go over some crucial plays real quick. And Sean just mentioned right now that 4th and 4, that catch by Cedric Wilson. Obviously, we know if he doesn't catch, that's the ball game. But if you watch that play, the corner, he wasn't beat at all. He actually jumped the route. Dak had to throw it up high, or else it gets picked off. He threw it high, perfect pass, perfect catch, and then the game goes on. So that was a crucial play right there. Obviously, we all know that the third and 25, the CeeDee Lamb got 24 yards on it, set up the tying field goal. I mean, that was crazy because Bill Belichick, and then Sean, I'm going to ask you what you would do, but Bill Belichick, he only rushed 3. What would you have done in that situation if you were a defense coordinator? What was it? Well, he didn't run. I mean, his son is actually defense coordinator, so his son called it. But what would you have done?
Well, I think for him it was the right thing to do, though, just because Dak was destroying him. Anyway, it's kind of like pick your poison, right? So if you blitz, you're leaving somebody open. Dak's going to find the open guy. So by rushing 3 and having everyone back, I mean, in hindsight, obviously it was a bad decision, but I probably would have done the same thing just because I want all my guys out there and all the receivers out there to see if we can disrupt. But you just can't give Dak that much time. You just can't. So kind of both ways, you give Dak time or you try to rush him and leave somebody open or leave a space open. Dak's going to either hit you one way or the other. So it really, I mean, you're just rolling the dice, really.
What about you? What would you have done, Lucha Libre? What would you have done?
I agree. I mean, they should have got a little bit more pressure. I think I would have came with a little bit more pressure, but that's just me. I like to take chances, but no, I get what you're saying. Though. Against Dak, you have to, with all those weapons, you need as many guys back there. But I think a few times Belichick could have went at us a little bit more because I was expecting that. I thought maybe Belichick definitely would have came with more blitzes for Dak and everything like that. But that did kind of surprise me. He didn't do it enough. Because he knew Dak was on fire and everything. I mean, he should have done something to at least get his timing off a little bit. But I'm glad he didn't, though.
I wouldn't have rushed 3 because you know what it reminded me of? Remember that playoff game against Green Bay, and Mason hit that 52-yard. It was third. It was 4th and whatever it was, and we only rushed 3. We gave Rodgers all kinds of time. Got out of the pocket, hit the tight end and sidelines. Boom. But when you give a good quarterback all that time, he's gonna find somebody. And I would have blitzed because if you blitz and then you're gonna have man-on-man coverage. But guess what? Dak's got to get rid of the ball quick. He's not going to be able to wait and throw it 24 yards and put us in field goal range. So, but you're damned if you do. Damned if it works, it's a great call. If it doesn't, it's a bad call. But like you said, thankfully they only rushed 3, and Dak was able to find CeeDee Lamb on that one. That was a crucial play, and then. So when I was at the crucial play was, and people don't understand how crucial this one was. When I was at the bar, and I'm going to mention my dad. I was at the bar watching with my dad, and after Diggs got that pick 6, and I was like, Dad, there's too much time left. And Dad's like, yeah, you're right, but hopefully if they score quick. Because if they score quick, they give us time. Very next play, they scored. So that gave us time. So that was kind of like a blessing in disguise that they didn't march down the field and score. They scored in the very next play. Sometimes you could score too quick, and that's exactly what they did. And my dad's like, "See, I told you they scored too quick," and then it bit them in the ass. So things happen for a reason, and it happened that way. So that was a crucial play that a lot of people don't think about. And then so in overtime, and I'm gonna well, people, I'm going to let you guys know what happened in overtime. You guys saw, obviously, but in overtime, there's 3 crucial plays that happened, and they ran 12 personnel with the slot. These 3 plays, 12 personnel. Then they gave the same 3 plays in a row, the same exact formation, and 3 different plays, and that's what set up the game-winning touchdown to CD. The first one was at 6:23 to go, 12 personnel slot. That was when Dak rolled out and threw it to Schultz. He gained like I don't know, it was 5 or 6. Yeah. The next one is when we handed it off to I believe it was Pollard or Zeke that he got like 8 or 9 yards.
Yeah.
And then this is all the exact same formation. The next time was that pass to CD, and we scored. So as much as we talk shit about Kellen Moore, like I haven't done it that much this year, but Kellen Moore, that design was there. He was giving them a different look every play, and they bid on the fake.
Yeah,
the play action worked. So those were some crucial plays, and they were all in the same formation. So I thought that was genius by Kellen Moore. So I want to give Kellen Moore props. Sean, what do you think about Kellen Moore? Because you weren't on the show last week. We were talking about Kellen Moore. What do you think about Kellen Moore and how he's doing this year?
No, I saw the show last week, and he's got to be the next Dallas Cowboys head coach.
Oh, you think so? Huh?
McCarthy's got to go. After last week, I just don't understand some of the. Is this guy? Does he want to win? No. I mean, seriously, he's doing stuff where I don't even understand it. Like on that 4th down, you got to call timeout. You got to make them punt. What are you doing? And then you call timeout with how many seconds left?
Like 20 something.
I don't even know. But we had 45 seconds left to call. He looks out of sorts. And you know what? Kellen Moore is going to get offers next year. We all know that.
Oh, he is.
Yeah. We got to keep him. We got to keep him. You got to keep him.
That's how I feel too. They got to keep him too.
I think we got to keep him, but
you pay him more.
You have to pay him, but I don't know if because I don't like when my head coach is calling plays. If Kellen Moore's the head coach, he's going to be calling plays. I don't know. It's like
What's wrong with that?
Jason Garrett effect. Jason Garrett was awesome offensive coordinator, remember?
Yeah.
Yeah, but Jason Garrett doesn't have the young mindset like a Sean McVay or Kellen Moore does.
He doesn't, but at that time when he got turned from OC to head coach, with the plays he was running, how he was running things was how the NFL was running.
You thought he got more.
I don't know if McCarthy doesn't have the right personnel in his ears telling him what to do and giving him heads up about this or that. Maybe he's missing somebody upstairs that needs to be reminding him all this stuff, but nobody knows what he's doing, dude, half the time.
Because
clock management.
When Garrett was OC, we were like, this guy's a genius. Look how well he's running the offense, this and that. And then when he turned head coach, didn't do so well. You know what I mean? Like, just because you're
remember, he brought in the OC too.
I know. That's what I'm saying is, I don't know. The only one Shanahan's good at it with the Niners. McVay's good at it. I'm not saying it can't happen because those are young bucks, like you're saying, Sean. Those are young guys. Kellen Moore's a young guy, so it might work. I don't know.
Well, I think it'll work because of him and Dak's relationship. I think the offense with Dak, I think it'll still work fine.
Well, the only problem with that is because here's why I don't think Kellen Moore's going anywhere, because he had a chance to go next. He had a chance to go last year. He could have went, I think, Boise State. He could have went to
college, though.
To college, right. I think Jerry talked to him and says, hey, you're going to eventually be head coach here, but, you got to give it some time. And Jerry's a loyal guy. Like, last year, McCarthy, COVID, no practice, blah, blah, et cetera, right? This year, what are we, 5-1? We're going to win the division, knock on wood. We're going to make the playoffs, make a far run and play. How is Jerry going to justify getting rid of McCarthy? You know what I mean? He's a loyal guy, so it's going to be tough for him to, get rid of McCarthy when we're 13-4. Like, how do you do that? You know what I mean? I think he's
you have a shiny new team in Vegas, right? Who just lost their coach, who's a great team, right? You could go there and change that culture. Kellen Moore, it's too attractive for him to just sit back and say, no, I'm going to stay here as an OC. And then how many years does McCarthy have left before he becomes head coach? That's another thing. It's a young coach's world now. We don't want to think of it like that, but it's turning into a young head coach's world, and young head coaches are doing really good, man.
Yeah, you're right.
My thinking is Jerry. That's why he didn't go last year. Jerry said, "Hey, I'm going to make you head coach." And who doesn't want to be head coach of America's team? So I think he knows he's going to get that head coaching spot, whether it's 2 years from now or after next
Yeah.
year. I don't know. I think he knows that. And Jared's going to throw money at him now this year and be like, hey, don't go because it's going to be your job. You know what I mean?
But the question last show was, if you had to decide by both of them, which one would it be?
Still a tough question. We're gonna have to revisit that at the end of the year. At the end of the year, we're gonna have to revisit that question.
We're gonna have to.
We'll have to go over it again because Kellen Moore is really impressive right now, and McCarthy's not with his decision making, which is what we're gonna get into. But Joey, what do you think about our freaking our penalties, man? I mean, justified, unjustified? What did you see?
Dude, I just felt like you said, it was the Belichick advantage at Gillette. Dude, it's like everything just went to their way the whole time. Like I mean, don't get me wrong. They got a couple calls, you know, when we needed it at a certain time of the game. But other than that, man, I mean, they were very sloppy with the penalties. I mean, I'm not saying all of them, but most of them, man, they did not look good at all, man. And we can't be a championship team if we're gonna make those type of penalties. Because it ain't gonna work with mediocre ball clubs, man. I mean, really good ball clubs. It's not gonna work.
Sean, was it the Belichick effect, or were we just having a hard time?
Man, you can call holding. You all know you can call holding on every play in the NFL, right? Yeah. They decided to pick the perfect moment to all of a sudden call these holding penalties. It's like, come on, man. Some of them were really ticky-tack. I mean, even the announcers were saying, I don't know about that one. You know, inside the shoulder pads, you're allowed to do inside the shoulder pads. They're calling inside the shoulder. I just don't agree on some of them. So it could have been what Joey's saying. But also, doesn't that come down to the head coach too? Discipline?
Yeah. We had more penalty yards than we did rushing yards. That's not good. That's not good. That's not good.
He's not a player's coach, man. I don't really like him. Not a fan.
Yeah, I hear you. So I mean, at the beginning, I was like, "This is the Belichick effect." holding here. It's just like, and then when CD scored that game-winning touchdown, I was waiting for a flag. I was waiting for the yellow box on the right. I was waiting for it to come up.
I know you were doing that, Ryan. I know it.
Oh, I was, dude. And going back to that, I was like, even my wife, when we were at the bar, we were at the bar and hold on, we were at the bar and my wife was like, "You cannot leave it up to Greg Zuerlein. You cannot leave it up to him. You guys are gonna have to score." So my wife, that since we've been married, she's learning more and more about football each year. But she even knows by watching the games, is like, you can't leave it up to your kicker. You just can't. So I was like, yeah, you're right. But what choice do we have? You know what I mean? So real quick, Zuerlein, Joey, you okay with him? What do you think about Zuerlein?
I'm okay with Zuerlein, dude. I mean, I know sometimes he has some bad games here and there, and he's inconsistent sometimes, but I think he's more consistent than most of the kickers out there. It's just that what I get scared about is even when he made that 49-yarder, it seems still kind of nervy, like he barely made it. You know, like, I don't know, man. It's just, he's a great kicker though, Ryan. He has that leg, man. It's just that sometimes he just seems like he's a lot more inconsistent than he was when he was with the Rams for some reason. Because when he was with the Rams, it seems like he made everything.
Does he scare you, Sean?
Yeah, he scares me.
Not as much as Maurer, though. I mean,
no. Like I said, we've had some scary kickers, but this guy, he's a little bit more consistent than anybody else we've had. So, and you can put him in on a 56-yarder or 58-yarder. You know, you can still think that he has a leg to get over it. You know, but what kills me is like when it's a 40-yarder, it's supposed to be a chip shot. You know.
Man, he didn't
my wife was all, "You guys are better off with Maher," and I'm like, no.
That's what I said.
You're not. We were not better off with Maher. Sorry, Maher's not even in the league anymore, dude. He was terrible. So yeah, she was saying that was and Sean mentioned it earlier, but I wanted to speak on Mike McCarthy. Pretty much seems like every game this year that he's had clock management problems.
Yeah.
Some kind of boneheaded decision. And you're right, Sean. And I was texting Joey this, and Joey didn't agree with me at that time. Lucha Libre didn't agree with me at that time because I was like, Why the hell are you going to go for it on your own 34? And Joey's like, well, he's confident in his offense. It doesn't matter how confident you are in your offense.
Nah, I get it. But look, that's the only thing I was thinking about, Sean, is that the only reason why he did it because he has that confidence in him.
That's high school bullshit.
I'm not saying I'm right, but that's it. I mean, that's the only reason why I get
Okay, I'm going to tell you this. So if he's so confident, he went for it on our own 34, 4th and 1, but at the end of the game when we had a chance, when Maher missed that, not Maher, when Zerline missed that field goal, when Greg DeLay missed that field goal, right? Yeah. It was 4th and 1. How come we didn't go for it then?
I know. That's what I was saying in my mind. Why didn't he go for it on then?
Right. So it's like
just as crucial, yeah.
You trust your offense, but you don't go for it then. So, and then like Sean said, he called timeout. Like you called timeout on that other field goal, the one that went to overtime. He called timeout and gave Patriots 20-something seconds left with one timeout they had to go. They could have threw something down the middle. They could have threw something deep, got a PI or something like that. They decided not to, thank God. But why wouldn't you let it go all the way down to 4 seconds to call timeout?
Man, I don't know why he's so bad at that. Dude.
Somebody said, well, it's because he was debating whether he wanted to call timeout to debate whether he wanted to go for it or not. That's what some
That's the thing. There's excuses every week about he has to explain himself. You shouldn't have to explain yourself.
Right. You should already know if it's 4th and 1, we're going for it or we're not going for it. Like
Ryan, when you watched the press conference, I didn't watch McCarthy's press conference all this past week, but did they even ask him about that situation?
You know what? I never watched McCarthy's press conference anymore because I get tired of him smacking his lips. He smacks his lips too much. So it bothers the shit out of me, dude. If you guys ever know, now that I said it, Joey, I told you last year, now that I said it, Sean, you're going to notice it every time. He's like, yeah, we saw some good things. It bothers the shit out of me, dude. So I can't watch him anymore. I can't. But that 4th and 1 from the 34, I mean, when we were lining up to go for it, were you like, what the hell are you doing?
I was just mystified. Like, man, there's got to be a reason. I don't know what it is, but
yeah. It didn't make. I could see if you're at your own at the mid 50-yard line, midfield. I get it.
Mid 50-yard line.
34, you're on 34. That's not good. And then so first and goal at the 1, we can't punch it in. What do you think, Sean? That 3rd down, he got in, but obviously they can't see it. I mean,
yeah, he got in.
That got in.
You gotta review it. His whole torso was over. Like, what do you think the ball's at if your whole torso's over? You think the ball's behind you? It was a total touchdown, but just couldn't get in. And it was the right call, obviously, to go for it and to do, what we just should have executed on that 4th down.
But
I agree.
Like the refs let everybody umpire, and you can see Dak clearly over the line. Like he's not moving. You know what I mean? But that goes back to McCarthy again because it was 3rd down and there was no challenges, so we couldn't challenge it. But he hurried up the offense to do another QB sneak.
I know.
You don't worry about hurrying up. Take your time because now it gives upstairs the time to look at it. He didn't even give them time to look at it. They might have blew the whistle. They might have looked at it. They might have called a touchdown, but he didn't give them time to do that. Yeah. So it's like, McCarthy, what are you doing? Like, let it go. You're okay. Like, let him look at it and then run your play. But that's another thing. Like, McCarthy, what are you doing? Like, us three were sitting at home and we know this shit. Like, why don't you know?
It could have been Kellen Moore, but at the same time, McCarthy could have went, hey, hold up a little bit. Because he's the head coach. He's the one who's supposed to.
Yeah, he could turn to his OC and say, hey, slow it down. Let's give him a chance to let's give him a chance to look at it. Or he could have called timeout.
Ryan, is it just me or all those years of me and you were always watching McCarthy in Green Bay? Did it not seem like he did these Did he do his bonehead in Green Bay?
No, he didn't. But like Sean and I were talking about earlier, like Garrett, he was. We thought he was a genius offensive coordinator, but the offenses ran different back then. Football was different back then.
Yeah,
it's different now. And he had had Rodgers and Favre and all that stuff, but it's just a different time now. And analytics is more of the thing now. And he came into this. Mainly why he got the job is what I've been told is he did a lot of analytics. He researched and learned, and he's using a lot of analytics because 4th and 1, the percentages say go for it and blah, blah, et cetera, et cetera. 3rd and 4. Not in fourth, not from the 34. No. That's what I'm saying. He uses them, but then sometimes he uses them too aggressively.
Right.
And it came back to bite us in the ass. But yeah, that third down, that third and goal, he clearly got in. I don't understand that. But I'll be honest with you, I don't like doing 2 QB sneaks in a row. What do you guys think about that?
I hate it. I think
hate it too. But
I mean, you got to give Zeke at least one try,
on
right? I mean, Sean, you got to give Zeke at least one try, right?
Right, I agree. But I think Jack went up to the line, saw something, and I think he did it himself.
Hey, you might be right. I just thought, give the ball to Zeke behind Zach Martin.
Yeah.
I say 4 times, give the ball behind Zeke 4 times behind Zach Martin.
He's gonna get in.
Score. 100%.
You're gonna score. Like, I mean, come on. Run out of time here, real quick. Leo Collins, Terrence Steele. Who you going with, Sean?
Gotta go with Collins. Steele's doing great. He's doing great, but Collins he's a journeyman.
What do you agree, Joey?
I agree, man. Yeah, you gotta go with Collins, man. I know he's still doing a hell of a job.
Got about a minute to go because he got a DWI. What kind of shit is that, dude?
Oh, it's ridiculous, man.
From the IE, that's
always something with us, dude. Always something. Always has to be.
He went to San Diego State, didn't he?
Yeah, he's from San Bernardino.
Oh my god. I mean, he's a crucial part of our defense right now, and I don't know, he's probably gonna get suspended for a game or 2.
Okay.
So I don't know. That's just bad judgment. I don't get it. Well, I think that's all we got. We're running out of time. I got to upgrade my Zoom, but I didn't. Lucha Libre, Oi, Sean, Ryu, Dallas Cowboys take. We're off this week. We'll see you guys next week. We'll get on the horn again, and we'll do another show. We got Minnesota next week. They got a tough defense. We'll see how it goes, but Dallas Cowboys take. All right, man. We'll see you guys later.
All right. Go boys.
All right.
Boys.
Go boys.